we start that we are not the primary agencies responsible for this investigation. This investigation is being conducted by the Rexburg Police Department and the Madison County Prosecutor's Office, and they are the ones that are conducting this investigation. Our responsibility has only been to support those entities and to carry out what legal issues and requests that they have for us on our end. So to that end, all I can tell you is that please take that into a consideration when we give you an opportunity to ask questions, to limit those questions to what it pertains to here on Kauai and not necessarily regarding the investigation and the matters involving the investigation on the mainland, because we can't answer that. Okay. So back in December of 2019, the Kauai Police Department was conducted. Let me start that all over for you. Mm-hmm. Who's live?
We all are.
Oh, fantastic. Back in December of 2019, the Kauai Police Department was contacted by the Rexburg Police Department requesting our assistance to see if we could locate Lori Vallow and her husband, Chad Daybell. We were able to identify that they were here on the island. Subsequently, the police department, Rexburg Police Department, requested our assistance in providing a order to compel Lori Vallow to produce her children in Madison County. The Kauai Police Department did in fact find and produce that order to compel, and as you all know, she subsequently failed to do so. In addition, the Kauai Police Department, through the affidavit in support of the investigators in the Rexburg Police Department, were requested to serve a search warrant on the residence where the Daybells were residing, as well as the vehicle that they were operating. We did enforce that search warrant, and all of the information that was gleaned from that search warrant was provided to Rexburg PD. Now, obviously, yesterday, we received information from the Madison County jurisdiction courts through the Rexburg Police Department that a $5 million warrant was issued for Lori Vallow's arrest. That included the ability for the Kauai Police Department to take Lori Vallow into custody on the following charges, according to the warrant: 2 felony counts of desertion, and non-support of dependent children, resisting or obstructing officers, criminal solicitation to commit a crime, and contempt of court. Lori Vallow was taken into custody without any incident by detectives of the Kauai Police Department. She was transported here to the Kauai Police Department headquarters and booked into our cell block, where she stayed until she got taken to her court appearance earlier this morning. She was taken in custody on Queen Emma Drive in Princeville, Kauai, and that was through our police detectives. After the court hearing, she was transferred by the state sheriffs into the custody of the Kauai Community Correction Center, where she will remain throughout the time frame of her court proceedings. So what I want to reiterate is that we are all hopeful that we are able to locate the missing children, Tylee and JJ, and we appreciate the community support. We can appreciate the media's interest in this story and helping all the investigators try to locate these missing children. At this time, I'd like to introduce Prosecuting Attorney Justin Collar so he can provide you with his statement.
My name is Justin Kohler. I'm the prosecuting attorney for the County of Kauai. I'm sure all of you were across the street for court and saw exactly what happened. So that's what happened. And as Chief mentioned, we're not the lead on this case. Our position
one hell of
has
an
always
explanation.
been, we're here, call upon us, we'll assist in any way we can. And the extradition proceeding concerns simply the mechanics of getting Ms. Vallow from here back to Idaho. The underlying substance or merits of the case involving the children will not be litigated here on Kauai. The extradition proceedings, what she can contest during these proceedings basically is the legality of the arrest. And really that's about it. So the hearing on March 2nd will be for the purposes of identifying Lori Vallow, the person here in custody, as being the same person who is named on the warrant that came here from Idaho. So that is the purpose of that hearing. And if that is successfully achieved, then she will be commanded into the custody of the Idaho personnel once we receive the governor's warrant and have it domesticated by our governor here in Hawaii. So that's about the extent of our involvement in the case. I join in the chief's statement that hopefully our involvement in this process can lead to some kind of just resolution to this case. And, of course, we are also hoping against hope that Kylie and JJ are out there somewhere and will be reunited with their other family members at some point. So I don't have anything else to add, Chief.
I would just like to conclude before we begin with questions that I want to thank the Rexburg Police Department for the incredible amount of work and effort they've put into this case. They've been working tirelessly to locate Tylee and JJ. And I know that in today's modern world that we expect police work to solve everything in 48 hours. Unfortunately, that's not the case, especially with a case that has this many challenges ahead of it. And so I just want to thank the Rexburg Police Department for all of their work and their efforts. And I also want to thank all of my detectives and personnel here at the Kauai Police Department for the hard work and professionalism they have done in this case to support the investigation on the mainland. So with that, we'll open it up for a few questions.
Chief, Jonathan Higley out of CBS News. The couple of island hopping recently, at the time of this arrest, any indication they were planning to leave Hawaii or somewhere else?
I have no information that they had any desire to leave.
And can you explain why Chad Daybell was not arrested, why it was just Lori Vallow?
So as I mentioned earlier, this investigation is being conducted in the mainland. We have no local charges or concerns that there's criminal activity that's occurred here in Hawaii or on Kauai. And so we are acting in response to the legal matters and the warrants that come from the Rexburg authorities or Madison County authorities. And we have not received any order that Chad Daybell is part of the investigation or at this time necessarily under arrest. So until such time that they ask for our assistance, we have nothing here locally to take him into custody for.
During the hearing earlier today, the defense had expressed some concerns that Vallow was in fact questioned by Idaho PD while in Kauai police custody. Is that true, and does that violate any laws?
I'm not going to comment on what our investigative assistance to the Rexburg Police Department has been.
Was Chad Daybell questioned?
I'm not going to comment on the investigation and what's been taking place.
Hi, Sheena with the Garden News. I just want to ask if Chad Daybell has been summoned by the Idaho to stay on the island, or is he free to go as he pleases?
At this time, there are no criminal charges pending. He's able to move about as he wishes.
Any signs of the children here in Kauai?
So the last sighting that I have been aware of happened in the mainland, and there has been no sighting since that sighting here in on Kauai or in the state. And so at this time, we don't believe that there's any connection to the children being here.
The people you folks are going to call for the March 2nd hearing, is it like the people who are committed in Idaho, grandparents, who exactly are the candidates on the show to be a part of that hearing?
We're working on determining that, and that's all we can say at this point. But we will call the sufficient witnesses necessary to identify the person in custody as being the person named on the Idaho warrant.
And were you satisfied that Vallow did not lower her bail?
I was pleased that she certainly did not grant the defense's request. Yeah, as I stated in court, I believed the case would be appropriate for remanding without bail being set, but I understand the judge has that discretion, and I'm not complaining about her decision.
Can you talk about how long it takes for the governor's warrant process to follow through?
It depends on the availability of staff to process the warrant. It works different in different states. It depends on their process for getting the warrant in front of the governor. It depends on how quickly their attorney general's office works. We've been in close contact with Madison County prosecutors throughout this process. I want to commend their efforts. They have been absolutely on top of things and thoroughly professional, and I'm confident that the governor's warrant will be secured in an expeditious fashion.
Is this a matter of days or is it a matter of weeks?
It's a matter of how quickly they can get in front of their governor, and I have not worked with the Idaho governor before, so I'm hoping that we can get it done quickly.
So unclear at this point whether you'll have it by the next hearing on March 2nd.
It is unclear. Under the statute, we have 30 days with a possible 60-day extension. So we have up to 90 days to secure the governor's warrant and have that served. We do not hope or expect that it will take that long.
Can she petition to resist the extradition process, and how long might that take?
Pursuant to the Uniform Criminal Extradition Act, which is the law in Hawaii and in most states, what she can contest in this proceeding is her identification and the legality of the arrest. So those are the only two issues at stake in this hearing.
We'll take 2 more questions.
Chief?
In terms of, can you confirm that Kylie's phone was found during a warrant search, and also whether there were any activities during that time?
No.
Speaking broadly, just with your history carrying out investigations, you've been doing it for a long time. I know as part of the warrant, it was revealed that records show, financial records, that childcare has not been paid for since the kids have gone missing in September. JJ's medication, his autism medication, has not been filled since September. For people that are watching this all around the country and world trying to figure this out, what do those clues laid out in that warrant mean to you?
That was a great attempt to get me to speak about the investigation that's occurring on the mainland, which I'm not going to do. So Ashley, last question.
Chief, we're hearing that Lori will be isolated in her cell for home protection. Is that true?
So she's been moved to the Kauai Community Correctional Center. It's their responsibility to determine how she should be properly housed. And so I can't answer that question. Thank you very much for all of your time and attention. Appreciate you guys and your interest. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, what do we think of that? For her own protection. Give me a damn break. How is everybody doing tonight? Let's see. Ugh. Oh my goodness. All right. Thanks, Charlene. Yeah, I was hoping we'd get some information too, but I had a feeling what was going to happen is actually what did happen. They were only going to talk about their involvement. They don't have anything going on with the actual investigation itself. So I didn't think we were going to get too much. But here on your screen, you guys can see a picture that Nate Eaton posted earlier of the other half of our doomsday duo. He had to pray before Lori's hearing, which I don't know if you guys saw that hearing. If you haven't seen it, we can watch that as well. But you could see him in the background, and he just looked totally confused. He was clueless. So, pool party at your house. Amber, you live here. It is not, this is not pool party weather, sister. Missy Cat, in my opinion, with Tammy's, anything related to Tammy had been buried, which means that she had been embalmed. So all the fluids were drained from her body. So every sample that they're taking from Tammy is actually going to be a tissue sample. And to make it more difficult, they don't even know what they're looking for. So to test for everything under the sun is going to take a hot minute. Yeah, VB girl. Yeah, we're not going to know anything. Yeah, like I said plenty of times, the only thing that gives me hope that something was found with Tammy is that search warrant that they got at the Daybell property. Did everybody get to see the court hearing from earlier today? Did everybody see it? My favorite part was when that judge said that they were going to keep the bail at $5 million. The look on her face, like she had to pick her jaw up off the floor. It was great. Good. Everybody seems to have seen the court hearing. That's awesome. Oh my goodness. This has been a day. Holy smokes. Yes, agreed, VB girl. The look on her face, I'm like, oh my gosh. I couldn't even, it makes me so happy. Makes me so happy. But yeah, then to see Chad there, and we have a person in our community on this channel who actually lives in Kauai, and she's saying that the word on the island is that Chad is bouncing around trying to find a bail bondsman that will work with him, but so far he's not getting any takers. So he's trying to get her out from the gossip train there on the island, which the island's not huge. Word gets around quickly. Oh, Michelle, I would love to know what she said. I don't know. Thanks, Catherine. Yeah, I imagine that she thought, I'm glad she got rid of the divorce attorney, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't look like she really went, it doesn't look like she was moving on up the ladder of, good, good attorneys. I don't know. Whew. That woman. And here's the thing. He's probably somebody else connected to them within their circle of crazy or something. I don't even want to speculate, but I know that her previous lawyer is connected to that group. So who knows? Yes. Yes, he did get 400. So the documents that were released today confirmed that Chad did get $430,000 as a life insurance payout when Tammy passed away. But we also know that they have been in Hawaii since December 1st. So that's 2.5 months of dropping $1,000 a night, at least, because Lord knows they're not staying at the Motel 6. You know what I mean? And so they're dropping some serious jack. So I don't know. Not that could take on her case, but would. Who would want to work with her at this point? At this point, the only reason why you would want to work with her is for the notoriety. Your name's going to be known forever at this point. Because Joe Jake, at the time that they made that payout, it wasn't suspicious. It wasn't considered suspicious until the end of, until at least a month later. No, Lisa DeHope, her attorney here, let me, give me 1 second and I will find the tweet that talks about who her new attorney is. Let's see, give me 1 second. What's his name? Oh, cheese and rice. Where is that? Okay, give me 1 second. I can't see chat. I'm trying to find. There it is. Oh, no wonder. Oh, here we go. We'll just scroll down this whole page because these pictures are chatter exactly what I was just talking about. He looks like such a doofus. Okay, so there's our buddy Chad there. He looked that way the entire time. I can't even stand it. But her attorney was asking for $10,000 bail, which I thought was extremely interesting. Here it is. This is about her new attorney. Lori's new attorney, Craig DaCosta, In general, you cannot enter a plea to out-of-state charges until you are brought back to that state. And it goes on to say he is a partner at DaCosta something, Hempy. I can't read that. Hold on one second. There we go. Ooh. He is the former elected prosecuting attorney for the county of Kauai. After 12 years as a prosecutor, having handled every type of case in the office from traffic tickets to murder trials, Mr. DaCosta went into private practice in December of 2008. He is one of the most experienced trial lawyers on Kauai. Mr. DaCosta also represents landlords and eviction matters and creditors in debt collections. He was born and raised in Kauai. So, okay. Yeah, I imagine it looks as though she had to get an attorney, so someone local to represent her today, so she didn't just stand there. Although I'm not sure it would have made a difference because it seemed like the judge was like, "Yeah, I'm not playing this game with you." Okay, let's see. Go back and look at your guys's look at your guys' comments. I couldn't see chat for a second. Let's go see if yeah, Chad does look like the weak one, but if it's possible, I think he might actually be the crazier one, which is, that's a lot to wrap your head around. So Lori Vallow has been moved to Kauai Community Correctional Center. It is unknown if she will be held in isolation. Oh, that poor woman. She did say in court that she doesn't have a passport, but they did say earlier that they're going to, regardless, whether she does or doesn't, if she does, they're getting it. Let's see if there's anything else. Pictures of her goofy ass. There we go. Okay. Let's see. You know what, Lisa? I feel like he walked in there thinking, "Oh yeah, we can totally get this reduced. This is not that big of a deal." Like what she's being charged with. This, I just feel like to me, it didn't sound like he was prepared. Yeah, anyone, she said she doesn't have one, but in the event, they put it in there just in case she, in case one of her angels delivers her one. But I don't know. I mean, and that's just assuming she's going to make bail at some point. Yeah, exactly, BB girl. I don't know what sort of identification she has. I have no idea. I know that according to the documents that we got today, that when their car was seized the 26th, they did find the birth certificates of the kids in their rental car. Which I was like, whoa, that's different. I didn't, just weird stuff to have in a rental car. Feeding it, I think she was expecting to get a reduction. I think that she put her head on her, aluminum bed last night and prayed and prayed and prayed and just prayed. And apparently the voices in her head probably told her, yes, we are going to take care of you. And bam, there's some reality. I don't want her to post bail, but I don't think she's going to sit around and think about the kids. I really don't. I think she's just going to be too focused on trying to, telepathically communicate with her husband and pray. And I'm not down in praying, don't get me wrong, but what they're praying for and what I would consider, normal prayer, two different things. This whole thing about how she is claiming that they, she's making them go through all this bullshit about making sure that they have the right person, the right identity. So she's making them go through and transfer all of these records to get fingerprints and all of this different sort of stuff. I mean, she's basically, remember like the song from the 90s, Shaggy, It Wasn't Me? That's what she's doing. Like, it wasn't me. I don't know what she's talking about. Like, she's just playing. Oh, it's just, and I just can't believe it. Oh, I agree, Crash. I agree. Yes, Amber, that is what April said, that they were both fitness instructors at that time when the Vallow family moved there in 2014. Oh, my bad, Missy girl. You're right. She doesn't have to pray. She's a god. Like everybody prays to her. So she must have laid around last night in jail answering everybody else's prayers, right? Oh my goodness. So I had my grandson all day. On Fridays, he doesn't have school, so we hang out all day. Well, in between him doing whatever he had going on, and when he passed out on me randomly, so that's when I decided to go ahead and put up the probable cause affidavit. I don't know that anybody had time to I don't know that anybody had time to watch all that. I don't know if you guys want to go through that. I mean, some of it is stuff that we already knew, but there are a lot of new things in there if you guys want to talk about that. I don't know what's on everybody's mind. Everybody saw the hearing today. If we want to watch the hearing again, you guys are in charge. You just let me know what buttons to hit or what we want to talk about. Lisa to Hope, I think she's both. I think, in my opinion, not a doctor, don't claim to be, I don't even play one on YouTube. My opinion is that she's always been a little off her rocker. She's always had some stuff going on, like underlying, like her whole life, which isn't that uncommon. However, whenever she met Chad Daybell, that just exacerbated whatever she had going on in her melon, and it really brought out her full spectrum of nuts. You know what, Melanie, and anybody that's watched my channel and everything I've covered about this case, up until I read that document, I read that document probably 4 or 5 times so far today. Like, I just kept going over it. Up until I started really paying attention to some of the details, I lean more to the side of hope, to where they're going to be recovered somewhere to where they can come back to family, friends, and loved ones. With some of the things that were released today, I'm not quite so hopeful, and I don't mean that in a horrible way. It's just there's some things that were made public today that are a little scarier than than whatever. There's always been a lot of rumor and speculation about things, but to actually see it, I prefer to have things verified by authorities and, people close to the case. So it was a lot to take in. Oh, goodness. Larry and Kay, Crash, Larry and Kay have done a lot of media interviews. I know that Colby and Annie have been active on social media a little. I know Annie's been very active, but I also do know that Annie and Colby have been filming different media things. And they, from what I understand, they have even filmed Dr. Phil. And that took place throughout this week. Prior to the arrest, of course. So I don't know how that changes the timing of when that show will air, what the content will actually be. But I do know that Colby is taking part in things. I agree, Joe Jake. I think that she has used her looks, her cute blonde little self. I mean, she's, aside from, up until we've seen this mugshot, she's not a bad looking gal. I mean, to be honest. I will, Jasmine, just 1 second. Well, I'll pull it up here while I'm chatting here. She's not a bad looking gal, but woo, she looks rough in this. And I think that forever she went ahead and thought she could just talk her way out of stuff, flirt her way out of stuff, bat her eyes, flip her hair, and just be cute. And it's not going to work this time. And, you know, it's a little too late to have to learn that life lesson, in my opinion. Okay, let's see. Come back to you guys. Okay. Oh, oh, I know you weren't nagging. I've seen a couple people say it, so I just didn't want to think. I don't want anybody to think that I was overlooking their comment. Okay. Hey, Cement Shoes, how are we doing? She's a little shop worn. Yeah, she looks rough. And she almost looks like a wax figure to me. It's very bizarre. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's just odd. It's just odd. She needs to get excited. She needs to turn that frown upside down because she's going to be there a hot minute. Okay, let's see. Where are we? Right here. Okay, so the affidavit itself is 14 pages long. And a lot of it goes on, excuse me, it talks about a lot of the things that we already know. For anybody that doesn't know, which I'm sure anybody in the true crime world does know, probable cause affidavit just basically lays out everything they've got on you to charge you with what they're charging you with. But there are a lot of new details coming through in this. So give me 1 second. I'm going to blow this up, though, so you guys can see it a little bit better on your screen. As soon as I find the button. Okay. With that watermark from East Idaho News in the back, I'm not quite sure how big I'm going to be able to, or how close I'm going to be able to get in for you and make it real clear. Does that help at all, or do we need it bigger? Let's try this. Oh, no. Let's not try that. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can read this very well or not. But there actually, if you do want to read over this or read along with me, there's a link to a PDF version of this down in the description box right below. So if you guys want to click on that and open it up, it might make it a little bit easier if you kind of to follow along or even ask questions. You are welcome. Or here, I can just, actually, I could just post the link right here in chat. Give me 1 second, guys, and I will get you the link. Oh my goodness. Phew. My youngest son is 15. Hey, Awen's got the link to the PDF right there. He very much watches the news and all kind, he follows all kinds of stuff. Well, he said he's like, all damn day, Mom. All I was getting was these damn updates about Lori Vallow. He's like, I swear to God, I thought you were the one sending them to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. I'm connecting with you through the news app, son. That was all me, of course. Oh my gosh. Exactly, Crash. Because they're not biologically related, they don't have a legal leg to stand on when it comes to Tylee, which is unfortunate. So, okay, so the affidavit, let's see, the affidavit, page 1 is just the legal mumbo jumbo in a sense. Just talks about that they're gonna where Lori is, all that goofy stuff. Not goofy, but boring, I should say. Now, paragraph 2 is basically just the more or less the resume of the detective who is God bless America, excuse me. Here, we'll go back here. So Detective Ron Ball. So there's page 1. Okay. Now, section 2 is just more or less just his resume. He's just talking about him, how he's and why he is qualified to comment on this case and request what he's requesting. So, excuse me. So number 3, it goes on to say, on the afternoon of the 25th of November, the Rexburg PD was contacted by Gilbert, Arizona PD about a missing child. They were contacted about JJ. JJ is a 7-year-old boy with autism who is supposed to be living with his adoptive mother, Lori Vallow. JJ's grandma, Kay Woodcock, had contacted Gilbert police about a welfare check. Okay. All right. And goes on to say Lori Vallow also has a daughter, and throughout the course of them looking for JJ, they realized that Tylee was also unaccounted for. Number 5 talks about JJ in school. It says, I am aware that Lori Vallow moved to Rexburg with JJ near the first week of September 2019. I'm aware that JJ was enrolled for the first 3 weeks at Kennedy Elementary School in Rexburg. I am further aware that he was seen by neighbors at and near his apartment in Rexburg. Through the investigation, RPD has learned that JJ's last day of school was September 23rd, which was the last day he was seen. And then on September 24th, Lori had told them that she was pulling him to homeschool him. So let's see. And then, sorry, I'm trying to make this to where you guys might be able to possibly see it on your screen, but hopefully if you want to read along or look at it, you guys would have. Jasmine, they can still ask for custody, but from what I understand, that's what they've legally been advised through the lawyer they have right now. And I think that there's other people that are going to do the same for Tylee, to file the same documentation that Kay and Larry have filed right now. So, okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up chat somewhere else because with this on the screen, I can't see chat. So I'm gonna pull it up somewhere so I can make sure I can hang with y'all. Give me 1 more second. Okay. All right. It goes on to talk about they've not had any witnesses who've seen JJ since September 24th. Now, this one is extremely interesting, and I found that this to me is new information. I was familiar with Lori Vallow because RPD had previously been contacted by Gilbert, Arizona, and Chandler, Arizona PD, who requested help to obtain search warrants for a vehicle in Lori's possession. Said vehicle was related to a possible attempted murder of Lori's niece's ex-husband, Brandon, in Arizona. I am aware that Detective Ray had also performed intermittent surveillance on Lori Vallow at the request of Gilbert PD, starting on November 1st, 2019. Detective Ray reports that he never once saw JJ while he was performing surveillance. Now, I knew, of course, that the Jeep was definitely tied to what happened with Brandon. But what I did not know is that Lori was actually previously under surveillance. That I found extremely interesting. Okay. It goes on to talk about how the vehicle is registered to Charles. Oh, excuse me. Brandon had previously been married to Lori Vallow's niece, Melanie. At the time of his attempted shooting, Brandon witnessed the Jeep, which he recognized as being the same vehicle that Tylee regularly drove. Brandon observed a rifle with a silencer come out of the rear window of the Jeep, and then Brandon's vehicle was shot once in the front driver's door frame. As Brandon drove away, the Jeep followed, but eventually turned a different direction. This same Jeep observed by Brandon was seized pursuant to a search warrant in November of 2019 in Rexburg, Idaho. It is significant that the vehicle that Tylee reportedly regularly drove was still in Rexburg nearly 2 months after the last known sighting of Tylee. Jasmine, everything I've seen, I imagine that yesterday was her first absolute conversation with law enforcement since November 26th. On November 26th, she gave them all these lines of crap about where the kids could be or where they were. And then all that turned out to be false, which has got her in the position she's in now. And since then, she's been kind of in hiding and on the run. So I imagine that yesterday was her first introduction to speaking to anybody. Do I think she actually said anything? No. So, oh yeah, hopefully they do ask her in court. Ugh, she'd make a terrible witness on the stand. Oh my gosh. Okay, so, all right. Number 9 talks about the death of Tammy Daybell and confirmation that Tammy passed away on October 19th, and then also confirmation that Lori and Chad were married on November 5th in Kauai. Okay, let's see what's going on. Okay, this is when we get into the day of the welfare check, and we hear about what Chad and Alex were doing and how they acted when authorities showed up. Number 10 states, on November 26th, Detective Ray and I'm not going to butcher his name every other time I say it, so I just call him Detective Ray. That's his first name. So I'm not being disrespectful. I'm actually trying to show respect by not desecrating his God-given name. On November 26th, Detective Ray and Detective Hope from RPD went to Lori's home in Rexburg, Idaho, to conduct a welfare check. Detectives met with Lori's brother, Alex Cox, and Chad Daybell outside of the residence. Chad acted as if he didn't know Lori very well and stated he didn't know her phone number. Now, mind you, this is 3 weeks after they've been married. So they've been married now 21 days, but he don't know her very well. And they might be hitched, but she ain't dropped no digits. And get the hell out of town, dude. Alex told detectives that JJ was with his grandma Kay in Louisiana, which was not likely to be true due to the fact that Kay was the individual who first called in a missing child report to Gilbert PD. Alex said Lori may be in apartment 107. Detectives went to apartment 107, but the apartment was completely empty and vacant. At this time, they called me and asked me to come to the premises to help search for JJ. Hi, everyone that's just joining. Right now, we are just going over the probable cause affidavit that was released today. We're skimming through some parts and really talking about the parts that are brand new and really bring some different things to light. Okay, so shortly shortly after reaching out to the lieutenant, Detective Ray called again and said that he saw Chad Daybell driving away in an Equinox. They had pulled him over and asked him again if he'd seen JJ. He responded that the last time he had seen JJ was in apartment 107 in October. He also admitted that he knew Lori's number and finally gave it to the detective. Jeez Louise. On that same day, and to see Melanie, okay, when I saw Melanie Gibbs' name earlier, I about fell over. I thought, oh my God, she talked. And sure enough, she did. So we're going to go over that now. On the same day, myself and Detective Stubbs of RPD located and spoke with Lori Vallow in her apartment number 175. We identified ourselves, and Lori told us that JJ was in Gilbert with a friend named Melanie Gibb. We obtained Melanie's phone number from Lori, and then we stopped talking to her there and tried to get they said they tried to get hold of Melanie. They weren't able to get hold of her. So they got hold of Lori again and told her that she needed to get hold of Melanie because they needed to speak to her right away. Lori goes on to then tell detectives that they're at the movie Frozen 2, so it was unlikely that Melanie would be able to answer the phone. So we instructed Lori to call Melanie Gibb and have her call us so we could verify the location of JJ. By that evening, we had not heard from Melanie. By that evening, we had not heard from Melanie, so RPD informed Detective Ryan of Gilbert PD about the info with the children being with Melanie Gibb. I was informed later that evening around 9:30 that Gilbert PD went to the home of Melanie. Melanie was not home, but they did make contact with her by phone. She stated that JJ was not staying at her Arizona house and had not been there for several months. Now, this is where Melanie starts talking. On December 6th, RPD was contacted by Melanie Gibb and informed that both Chad and Lori had called Melanie on November 26th at separate times and asked her to tell police that she had JJ, even though JJ was not with her. Melanie informed RPD that she declined their request. So, Chad and Lori both were in on whatever the hell they're covering up because they're both making separate requests to Melanie to just say this for us. Because, okay, and here's another thing. Okay, so there's one thing to say, okay, just say this. But what the hell is she going to do if cops showed up there and there's still no JJ? Melanie is off her rocker too. She's part of this podcast group and this group of people who are a little out there, in my opinion. But at least she has the sense enough to be like, no, I'm not going down that road. Okay, so let's see. And this is where they get into the solicitation and the resisting, hindering the investigation. The statement Lori made to RPD about JJ being with Melanie delayed the investigation into the whereabouts and safety of JJ by requiring us to take time to investigate a lead that was verified as false. So on the following day, on the 27th, Lori's apartment, Melanie's apartment, and Alex's apartment were all three searched, and they are all three in the same complex. JJ was not located at any of the homes. It appeared to me that most of the clothing in Lori's apartment had been removed. Other furniture was still inside the residence. RPD believed that she left Rexburg with Chad Daybell the night of the 26th. Her niece Melanie later confirmed that, and that Chad and Lori did leave on the night of the 26th. Now, while we have Melanie Gibb and Lori's niece Melanie are two different people. So Melanie Gibb is in Arizona, and her niece Melanie that moved with her to Rexburg was her neighbor in this complex. So they are two different people. So I just want to, while we have them on the screen, I'm going to talk about that. And then this number 18 talks about one of JJ's prescriptions, and that had not been filled, and the date on the bottle they had was from January, and at that time it still had 17 pills in it, which I find, in my opinion, I find that odd because Charles didn't pass away until July. So I would imagine that Charles was very adamant about making sure JJ had everything he needed. So where this random bottle came from, I'm not real sure, but that's just speculation, but that's them. But they later confirmed that that particular prescription had not been filled in the state of Idaho. Also on the 27th, they served the search warrant on the storage unit. Inside the storage unit, we found a blanket with pictures. We saw all that stuff, the backpack, toys that appeared to be appropriate for a young boy, winter clothing, other children's clothing, bikes, a scooter, and a photo album. Okay. RPD was further made aware that Lori's debit card was later declined, and they've not heard back from her. Okay. And then this is where they start talking about Tylee, where they were going on and figuring out that not only was JJ unaccounted for, but so was Tylee. Number 22 does talk about Colby. I am aware that Gilbert PD has been in contact with Tylee's brother, Colby. Colby reports that the last time he spoke with Tylee was on August 30th, 2019 via FaceTime. He informed Gilbert police that when he tried to contact Tylee after August 30th, Lori would give excuses as to why Tylee could not talk with him. Okay. Read some of your guys' chat here real quick, and then we'll move on. We're about halfway through. Okay. The solicitation charge, Emily, that comes from her requesting that Melanie lie to the police. Whew, Crash, wouldn't that be interesting? Wouldn't that be interesting if their cause of death was the same? That is a really good question. No, Cooley got a bad rap. Okay, let's see. What did Colby? And then number 23 goes on to talk about Lori had told Melanie Gibb that Tylee was enrolled at BYU, Idaho, and that later, in fact, turned out to not be true. She was never enrolled at BYU, Idaho, or any of their affiliates. Number 24 talks about some of the neighbors that they had there at the complex in Idaho. Neighbors say they saw Tylee at or around the residence when they moved in with Lori at the beginning of September. The same neighbors actually helped Lori move into her apartment. They saw Tylee briefly a couple of times after she moved in, but had not seen her since the first couple of weeks of September. Their son played with JJ multiple times. One of those neighbors actually informed authorities that one of their children went over to the apartment to ask to play with JJ towards the end of September, and they were told, Lori had told that child that JJ wanted to stay with his grandma for an extended period of time. And then there, number 25 is interesting. I'd like to know, oh shit, sorry. Number 25 is interesting. I'd like to know what else is on here. Another neighbor of Lori Vallow, who lived directly across the courtyard, had a Ring doorbell camera that recorded JJ playing outside on September 17th of 2019. I would love to see some more of that video, just because I'm nosy. Now, this one makes me extremely nervous. And the first time I read it, my heart was in my big toe. Like the bottom dropped out for a second. Throughout our investigation, we were able to determine that through phone records that Tylee that Tylee accompanied Lori, Alex, and JJ on a day trip to Yellowstone National Park on September 8th of 2019. We have obtained a photograph of Tylee at the park entrance through the National Park Service. Also, through service of a search warrant, RPD has obtained a photo from Lori's iCloud account of Tylee in Yellowstone National Park that is time-stamped on the 8th of September. This photo is the last time we can find of any record of Tylee being with Lori Vallow. We have no witnesses who can verify that they've seen Tylee since this visit to Yellowstone National Park. That makes me nervous. I don't like that. Yeah, it's a big ass park, Emily. And I don't, that, if that was the last time Tylee's seen, that is scary to me. That is very scary, in my opinion. I don't want to know. I don't like that at all. That one makes my heart hurt some. Well, a lot. It makes my heart hurt a lot. It then goes on to say that RPD confirmed that they flew to Kauai on December 1st of 2019 on American Airlines, and that there was no evidence that the kids ever traveled to Hawaii. It goes on. The next two talk about the surveillance of Chad and Lori in Hawaii, and that the children had never been spotted with them since they arrived back on December 1st. And then we're going into things that we pretty much on the 20th, how the FBI and RPD did release the press release saying that the kids were missing. And then that same, just in those next couple of days, we heard she was speaking through her lawyer, who basically said she's a good mother and she will talk when the rumors stop, which was the stupidest statement ever, in my opinion. Now, 32 is a new piece of information as well, and this has to do with JJ. Through this investigation, RPD has learned that Lori Vallow used the website care.com to find a babysitter for JJ. Through service of a search warrant, we were able to verify the identity of the babysitter who Lori Vallow hired to watch JJ. We contacted this babysitter, and she informed us that she watched JJ on September 19th. She had met with JJ and Lori the previous day. The babysitter understood that her employment was to be ongoing. The babysitter reports that on September 24th, she reached out to Lori, and Lori told her that her services were no longer needed. Let's see. And then number 33 talks about, number 33 talks about the child protection order that she basically wadded up and threw back on the court's face by not producing the children by January 30th in Idaho. Number 34 is just verifying that there's no other legal documents pending in any court system that is giving guardianship to anybody else other than Lori Vallow. The only guardianship thing that they found were the adoption papers from when JJ was adopted back in 2014. 35 talks about more surveillance in Hawaii where JJ and Tylee were not observed. Number 36 talks about what they did find when they served the search warrants on the 26th of January in Hawaii. Okay. During the afternoon of January 26th, I observed Kauai PD serve search warrants on the persons of Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow and on a black Ford Explorer they had rented. Said warrants were served on them in the parking lot of the Kauai Beach Resort. JJ and Tylee were not with Lori and Chad. The following items were located in their possession. So this was in the car with them, mind you. The birth certificates of Tylee and JJ. Tylee Ryan's bank card. JJ's iPad. Another iPad logged into JJ's Apple account. and JJ's school registration receipts from Kennedy Elementary in Rexburg. Now, to me, those are some very, I mean, when you get into like the birth certificates and the school registration. Now, he hadn't been in school since September, and they left at the end of November. I don't understand her need to hold on to those pieces of paper. I'm not quite sure. I don't understand. But she did have Tylee's bank card and 2 iPads, one of which was JJ's. Through our investigation, RPD learned that Tylee's card had been used. Tylee's card that was found with Lori had been used since the last sighting of Tylee. So, is there any? Okay, and then number 38 talks about what they found in the home. The search warrant was served on the condo. In the garage, they found 2 beach chairs, 2 yoga mats, and 2 beach towels. There were no items in the garage that appeared to belong to a minor child. There was nothing found in the condo that appeared to belong to either Tylee or JJ. Further, there was nothing found in the condo that would indicate that a 7-year-old boy had been there, such as clothes, toys, books, JJ's medicine. There was a second room that they weren't using, but it was basically empty, is what this alludes to. 39 talks about her giving back the dog, and that they verified that the dog was picked up on August 30th, 2019, which was the day before they left for Idaho. They spoke with Chad Daybell's parents. That's what number 40 talks about. Through this investigation, Chad Daybell's parents, Jack and Sheila Daybell, said that Chad and Lori had told them in November that Lori was an empty nester. I mean, Jack and Sheila must be really proud that their husband, their son, who had been married for, it would have been 30 years in March coming up, that he and Tammy would have been married, that within days he's remarried. Oh Lord, I don't understand it. But they are apparently the ones who said that she didn't have any minor children. And then they also spoke with Tammy Daybell's sister. She informed them that Chad had told them that Lori had no juvenile children. So it is confirmed that those statements that have been rumored for so long, which everybody pretty much believed to be true, we just didn't know where they came from, this confirms. And it was actually from Chad's side of the family, even Tammy's side of the family, that, and what did Tammy's, I don't understand. It's too much. So we're almost done, so let me wrap this up. Number 42 talks about getting a tip that they were traveling to Maui and that they were in Maui, and that I feel like that was their island hopping is what got the ball rolling and got her ass behind bars a lot sooner than any of us expected, if I'm being honest. I think that them being uncomfortable after Dateline and all the locals not being so welcoming to them in Kauai anymore, they thought they would island hop, but that just backfired. Yep, and everything else. And then the last, it just goes on, and it goes on to, the last 2 pages summarize everything we just went over. So that, my friends, that is the probable cause statement, and it busts out a lot of information. Give me 1 second and I will get this off our screen and we will get back to it. Oh, we were actually just talking about Colby here. We have a new tweet from Justin Lum, it appears, and he's talking about talking to Colby. So let me pull that up real fast. Okay, let me get back to you guys and look at chat. Sorry, I've not been paying attention to chat. I was reading, so give me 1 second. But on the screen, Justin Lum talks about how he's been talking to Colby, and we'll read that in 1 second. Crash, that's a really good question about the sacred or religious ground in Yellowstone. I imagine there is. Well, she needed a babysitter for JJ when Tylee had last been seen, 11 days prior to that. It's just bizarre. Just bizarre. She needs her eyelash extensions. Okay, so his tweet says, when talking to Colby Ryan, Lori's son, he says it's tough to see his mom in court, to know she's in jail. For him, it doesn't feel real. To know JJ is still missing. To know Tylee was last seen at Yellowstone on September 8th. He prays Lori reveals what happens. And everybody shares his sentiment. Everybody hopes that she does. I do have her mugshot as my picture because I just can't stand it. It is the best mugshot I've seen in a hot minute, I ain't gonna lie. Tylee was gone first, correct. Tylee was last seen, according to these documents, on September 8th. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Yeah, poor Colby. He's. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't finish that part. I'm sorry. Let me find that part. Okay. Let me tell you guys why they consider her a flight risk and why they set the bail so high. This is actually very good stuff. And yeah. So due to the following reasons, I believe Lori Vallow is a flight risk. Within a day of when we met with Lori in November to ask about the children, Lori had left the state and was in Hawaii within a week. Charges being filed against Lori are serious. 2 of the charges are felony abandonment of a child, which carry up to 14 years in prison. Lori has no significant ties to Madison County, Idaho. She no longer has a home, and she has abandoned a significant amount of property here. Lori has already displayed a willingness to disobey and ignore a court order. And then here we go. E, right here in the middle of the page. Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell have significant financial resources. I am aware that Chad Daybell received at least $430,000 in life insurance proceeds upon the death of his wife, Tammy. As such, Lori and Chad have resources sufficient to help them travel and hide from law enforcement and from the courts. So, yes. What do you say? So yes, they did. So they did go digging into some financial records, and 10% of $5 million is $500,000. So knowing that he got just under that, and then also knowing that they've been living it up in Hawaii, for almost 3 months now, they've gone through a lot of money, and it's a shame for her defense because she's gonna need it. She's gonna need that money here in a hot minute. Yeah, and what is Chad gonna do? It was reported now that the condo that they were staying in is up for, or it's now in escrow, which means there's been, there's a contract on it. So he's gonna have to move. What's he gonna do? Go back to Idaho where he's really not welcome now? I mean, 2 of his grown kids and their families live in the home that he shared with Tammy. So, I mean, he's just kind of screwed. It doesn't mention that in their crash. Anything that the Tylee and JJ were receiving was not mentioned. Oh yeah, they definitely thought that Here, we'll watch. You guys want to watch the court hearing? It's about 10 minutes long. I don't know if everybody's seen it, but then we can see her response. I mean, her face when they said they're not going to lower it just made my day. Made my day. Let's see. Where is it? Ooh, pause. Okay. Okay, we will. Let me. Oh, wait, I can't. Don't start yet. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me click the right button and we'll get the screen up. We'll watch her. And then that was bizarre. Okay.
Custody heard as to bail because we are sitting here with
Can you guys hear that?
felonies and misdemeanors.
Shit. Oh, God bless America. What's it doing? Okay, hold on 1 second. It's acting crazy. Go back. Okay, I think we have to do it this way. Sorry, I'm fighting with the screen. Don't mind me. Oh, are you kidding me right now? It's really not going to go. What is your deal?
So I would ask to be heard as to bail because we are sitting here with.
All right, here. You know what we're going to do? We'll just do it this way. I know a place. All right. Sorry, guys. I am not trying to ignore you. I am trying to fight with this computer. So. Are you kidding me right now? Oh my Lanta. Okay.
832-15. So I would ask to be heard as to bail because we are sitting here with a couple felonies and misdemeanors and $500,000 bail. And the points I want to make, they just track the bail statute. But the points I want to make is, first of all, Lori has a residence in Kauai. Her husband lives in Kauai. She remained in Kauai since Mr. DaCosta made contact with the police in January. They've known she was here. Mr. DaCosta's been in touch with them. I have the emails. Police knew she was represented by counsel on Kauai since January 30th this year as well. She made a trip to Maui on vacation, but she left. She informed Mr. DaCosta, and he remained willing to produce her as soon as the police wanted her. He's been in contact with the police throughout this, again, offering to produce her. Instead, she was arrested, and media was calling us all day. It seems like it was maybe a made-for-media event at taxpayer expense because, again, Mr. DaCosta offered to the police on January 30th, several police, that he would just simply turn her in. She doesn't even have a passport. And as to the charges, as the court noted, a couple things the court noted today that were I guess, pressing related. First of all, there's no life in prison or death penalty in this case. So she has a right to bail. And again, that should be set by this court under this court's bail standards. The last case, I just heard the court affirm $1,000 bail on a misdemeanor. We've got 2 misdemeanors here and a couple of felonies. Under the Idaho statute, it appears that the maximum penalty for any of those felonies is like 13, 14 years. They're basically like thieves. And typically, that would be typically more in the name of $10,000 for 20,000. And again, given her residency here, she hasn't. But they didn't even need to arrest her, and Mr. DaCosta has been in touch with them the whole time. We would request that bail be reduced until the hearing to a constitutional amount. In other words, it will ensure her appearance as opposed to ensuring that she can't make bail, which is the current state.
So what specific amount are you asking?
I'm asking for $10,000. I think that's how the court would typically see a bail like that in a case like this if we're here.
At least one of the charges that Ms. Vallow is facing in Idaho, felony abandonment or not support of wife or children, is punishable by imprisonment of up to 14 years in prison. And that makes it at least the equivalent of a Class B in Hawaii, which does qualify as a serious crime under HRS 804-3A. We are asking that Ms. Vallow be remanded without bail. She checks every single box under 804-3, in that any person charged with criminal offense shall be bailable by sufficient sureties, provided that bail may be denied where the charges for a serious crime, which this is, and 1, there is a risk that the person will flee, which certainly is indicated in this case. She has already absconded from the jurisdiction where the underlying crime is alleged to have taken place. 2, there is a serious risk that the person will obstruct or attempt to obstruct justice. Indeed, one of the charges she's facing in Idaho is precisely that she has interfered with an investigation. 3, there is a serious risk that the person poses a danger to any person or the community. Certainly, the charges she's facing indicate that risk.
Did you see Chad's face?
There is a serious risk that the person will engage in illegal activity.
He's so
Your Honor,
stupid.
she has no ties to this island other than a rented condominium in Princeville. She has apparently resources to travel and leave. And Your Honor, the state submits that if ever there was a case suitable, our office does not request this on a regular basis, that a person be denied bail. This is the case that's appropriate for that. As far as the identification hearing goes, for us to get the necessary documents from Idaho, as well as Honolulu, arranged it for the necessary witnesses, we're asking for an ID hearing to be set in the second week of March, if that's what we're going to do. Your Honor has up to 30 days, but to get the necessary people here from off island, because everything does need to come from off island, that is going to take some time and coordination. So we're asking for a date after March 5th.
Mr. Kohler, a couple of things. Let's begin with Stephen made by Mr. Anthony a few minutes ago. Are you in agreement with his characterization that this is not a government?
No, the governor's warrant has not been obtained yet. The governor's warrant is obtained after the person has been brought in and demanded, exercised their right to demand the governor's warrant. The Madison County prosecutors, per my discussions with them, which have been ongoing, they are prepared to immediately seek their governor's warrant, have it domesticated in the state of Hawaii.
Okay, very good. Now, Mr. Kohler, I guess the most important question I have is, why would it take to get the witnesses or other means of identification so that we can go forward with the hearing?
Because we need to get fingerprints from Idaho sent here. They need to be compared in Honolulu with Hawaii fingerprints that are on file for Ms. Vallow. They need to be, the results of that analysis need to be checked by another analyst in Honolulu, and then we need to bring the witnesses over here. And particularly if Your Honor is inclined to apply it, we note that the rules of evidence do not apply to identification hearings, but if we are going to have to comply with those rules, then we need to make sure we actually bring the live witnesses here, and that requires coordination with a number of individuals.
Look at his face. What a
We have been
doofus.
working on that and advised them as soon as we learned this morning that Ms. Vallow intended to contest her extradition, we began making those arrangements. But we don't want to get in a situation where we commence next week and then we have to continue because somebody was unavailable, Judge. We want to be able to get it all done at once. And we think that's reasonable in light of the circumstances.
Mr. Yankee, your response?
I don't think I heard anything that takes 3 weeks. And we're concerned with her in custody, by the way, for another reason. Yesterday when she was arrested, and my office was calling cell block, Mr. DaCosta was calling cell block, and they told him she's not here. And basically she was MIA for hours. And we learned since that the Idaho police were questioning her while with the Kauai police, while they knew she was represented by counsel. It's just another reason to get this done faster. I mean, fingerprints and fingerprint comparisons don't take very long. And getting people over here shouldn't take 3 weeks. And just in response to the other, she's presumed innocent. And I don't think the state has checked the box of danger to the community. They're alleging simultaneously she's not with the children, she's a harm to them. And there's certainly no allegation that she's a harm to the community.
She's gonna harm the kids, but she's not with them. That's the fucking problem. Oh my God. Pardon my French, but Jesus.
What's your Honor's particular questions?
All right, then, first of all, as to bail, bail is confirmed in the amount of $5 million.
Look at her face.
Hearing, let me just confirm that,
She said 5 million.
we're going to set it for Monday, March 2nd, 2020. It'll be on the 9 o'clock calendar, following our regular criminal calendar.
Maybe her briefly.
Yes.
I know that Mr. Hensley represented that Ms. Vallow does not have a passport, but could we make it a condition that if she does manage to post bail, that if she has one, and we will independently investigate that, if she does have one, that it be a condition of the bail that she turn that in
Okay, you want that surrendered to your office?
to the Kauai Police Department.
And any response to that?
She doesn't have a passport.
Okay. All right, then let me just make it clear on the record, Ms. Vallow, should you bail out, you are to surrender immunity any passports that you may have. All right, anything further?
Count it up, girlfriend.
All rise. Thank you.
And that's that. So what she's doing with wanting to claim identification is she's trying to pull this card. It's not me. I'm not the one you're looking for. She's trying to play the dumb blonde here, and it's just not going to work this time. I hate to, burst her little blonde bubble, but it's just not going to fly. So now there were reports that came out. They were reporting before the press conference that she was just going to waive extradition and just fly on back and just, do what she had to do. Well, as we can see, that obviously did not happen. So she's just going to make this hard, and she's going to drag her heels to not try to go back to Idaho, but she's going to end up back there. So spending this money on this lawyer to end up having to go, she's going to be extradited. There's no way around that. because they're not looking for the wrong person. But I mean, but it's just ridiculous. That's the dumbest. Feeding it, I understand the legal aspect of it, but it is the dumbest. I mean, it's par for the course with this case, don't get me wrong, but it is seriously, I need you to move heaven and earth to get my damn fingerprints, so then you can put me on a plane in 2 weeks as opposed to just put me in a plane over the weekend. I know, Crash, but I still don't have to like it. The fact that she's going to make it difficult is the part I don't like. Now, do I want them to do a thorough investigation and make sure that there's no way legally she can come back and say that, you know, the system screwed her and yada, yada, yada? Absolutely. But the fact that she's making it difficult purposefully is just frustrating. Which I don't expect anything different. I didn't expect her to be compliant at all, but still. That's what I'm saying, Crash. Isn't all of this stuff digital? I mean, they act like they're going to have the Pony Express bring it over to the shore, and then somebody's going to have to swim it out to Hawaii, you know, by hand so they can compare fingerprints. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. No, I get that too, VB girl, but I still don't think it takes a couple of weeks. You know, what he was talking about 30 days. I'm like, holy smokes. And then he went on to say later in the press conference we saw where he said that this could be extended up to 90 days. And I could see her pulling that to just, but by the time she leaves, if she does that, by the time she leaves Hawaii, they're going to be out of money. But see, that's where we're going to see their supporters pop up and say, oh my gosh, we are going to save you. Ugh. Which I'm shocked that hasn't happened yet. Yep, exactly, Melanie. Exactly. That's what I was just thinking. I don't understand it. Absolutely. Oh, yes, Amanda, they do have supporters. Here, let me find. I really don't want to post a lot about their organization, like links and stuff on my channel, but I will give you guys one link here. Hold on 1 second. Let me find it real quick. What's his name? Oh, crap. I bet would be helpful. Where'd it go? See, I'm not trying to be a puss. I just don't want to make it appear to the YouTube gods that I am advertising whatever the hell these crazies are trying to sell. There is an organization called Avow, AVOW, and they there's many people belonging to that organization who are with Chad and Lori 100%. And let me verify the name of this message board, and I'll tell you guys that too. Oh, damn it. Where is it? If you guys could see the amount of links and things I have saved right now in regards to this. Oh, one day I need to sit down and organize all this. So give me 1 second. Oh my gosh. It is something along the lines of Inside Edition, but it's obviously not the show. Damn it the hell. All right. I'll find it in a second. No, not Preparing a People for their message boards. No, Preparing a People is just basically like they host all of these events and things where people speak about whatever they want to in regards to their religious beliefs. No, the message boards and their message boards are pretty lit, and I cannot find the damn bookmark right now. And you know why I can't find it is because I am looking for it. Now, one of their supporters, what's his name? Jason Moe. He is he's a former police officer out of their neck of the woods in Arizona. And he is all about having their back. Oh my gosh. That free Lori Vallow page, I pray on all that is holy that is a joke, but I have a feeling that it's not. I just have a feeling that it's not. Top shelf. Get out of town. Uh-oh, why are you yelling at my last name? Oh, I got you, Linda. No calls allowed. The end prepper's not allowed. Yeah, we try to steer clear of that kind of jazz here at the Rainy Ranch. Now, oddly enough, I have always been fascinated by cults. I watch things on cults a lot. So having like the true crime and the cult aspect and all the stuff that surrounds this case just totally fascinates me on so many levels. Oh, thank you, Amanda. I'm glad you found me too. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Yeah, this case, I don't know. This case has really gotten my attention. I'm trying to see who else is here. You will see the moderator that you guys see on your screen right now, Linda. Linda and I, and Jamie Hart, who knew? Here comes trouble, guys. Watch out. Hello, Jamie. I met Jamie and Linda through our support of Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey. So I am no stranger to over analyzing documents and getting into details and really trying to figure out the truth. I'm not one, tabloid headlines are great and they're interesting, but in my opinion, I would be doing a disservice to Tylee and JJ if I were to walk around and just reiterate things that you can find on Facebook message boards. So I just prefer to kind of get into the nitty gritty of all the documents and the facts and try to connect some dots and figure it out. Oh my God. Now, Emily, I'm glad you brought up Scientology because here's the thing. If we look at Chad, and Chad is up until I guess the last couple of years, all of his books were always considered fiction. And then at some point they transitioned to being like a way of life. And if we look at Scientology and we look at L. Ron Hubbard, he started off as a fiction writer. And suddenly Scientology grew into this beast that it is today. And so there's a lot of similarities between Chad and LRH, and it's very, very, very scary. Very scary. Thank you, Crash. Thank you. Yes. I'll talk smack and speculate, but I try to make it very clear when I do. So, because I just don't think it's very smart. To go around and just say things that we don't know are true and then get aggravated when, you know, people don't have facts of the case because they're so clouded by. And that's another thing for anybody listening now or watching this on replay. If you ever see me in a Facebook group besides the True Crime Sofa Squad Facebook group, I have been hacked, I've been abducted. Call somebody, I need help, because I do not participate in Facebook groups, and not because people aren't awesome, but because some people get crazy and mean, and the rumors and the speculation just, I love my tinfoil hat. I love a good conspiracy theory, but you can see Facebook groups sometimes that just take it way far out there. So you likely won't see me on Facebook groups, but you can always find me on Twitter and Instagram. So, or if you guys are also welcome to join the True Crime Sofa Squad Facebook group. Charlene, could you post that link real quick? Or I can grab it. Charlene's still here, isn't she? Or Linda, do you have that link? Tinfoil underwear. Whew. That sounds really nice, Jamie. Really nice. Oh my goodness. So what does everybody think about what's going on today? Yeah, I do too, Cement Shoes. I think that's really interesting. And I love how they made it just over the threshold of the money they know he got. So, and then knowing that they've blown through all sorts of jack for the last few months, it's going to make it extremely difficult. And then last I heard, the word on the island is no bail bondsman wants to work with him. Thanks, Charlene. Oh, if they let her out, she's yeah, we might never see her again. Oh, well, thanks, Emily. I'm glad you took part in chat. I'm glad you're going to stick around and listen up. I don't know. We've been going for about an hour and 40 minutes, guys. So, see, what do? We watched the press conference to begin with. We went over the affidavit, and then we watched the hearing. So, unless you guys think, unless you guys have something we want to talk about, I think we've covered all the big stuff from today. Yes, VB girl, I absolutely agree. We do need answers. And I'm, like I said earlier, I'm very discouraged by some of the things I read in that affidavit today. Oh, awesome. Now that Facebook group is run by two other content creators. And one channel is Reporting Live from My Sofa, and the other one is Awen Rees. And they also have podcasts. They each have a YouTube channel, and they do podcasts both together and separately. And they are awesome. And so all the cases that everybody follows are in that Facebook group. You guys are welcome to check out their channel. I will also leave a link to everybody's channel down below. Give me 1 second and I will get you. Hey, Awen, there you are. Go ahead and Awen, go ahead and post your links, would you? Since you're here, precious. Oh gosh. Oh, there we go. Charlene's got us. Chad isn't in custody yet. I imagine that they are kind of building up things against him, and any sort of big charge against him or anything that's going to have a lot of weight behind it is going to be surrounding the death of Tammy. So even according to the affidavit in regards to Lori, it will, if and when Chad is taken into custody, we will see some of those things repeated. We will see how he lied to authorities, and we will see those patterns, the patterns of behavior or that the activities repeated where he wasn't compliant with police for certain things. So I imagine that they're waiting to figure out what they can do, what is going to happen in regards to Tammy when it comes to Chad. So that's just my 2 cents. I don't know. JJ's biological parents are Kay and Larry's son and daughter-in-law. When JJ was born, he wasn't born very healthy, and they had made some not so great decisions, and ended up turning over custody to Kay and Larry, and then ultimately Lori and Charles adopted him. My goodness. Holy smokes. All right. I am going to, we'll check Twitter, check a couple places on Twitter, see if anything interesting is popping up that, anything interesting popping up in regards to today at all. If not, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up because I think we've talked about quite a bit. Like I said, unless you guys have something specific you guys want to go back over or go over in general. Excuse me. Let's see. What is that? Interesting. Well, it's just good to see you in chat, Mr. Hart. I haven't seen you in a hot minute. Yeah. Yeah, everyone's dead except Lori. Imagine that. No, I don't think JJ's biological parents don't have any involvement in what's going on at all. Yes, Linda, it will be there. I actually, I gotta send pictures to Walgreens tomorrow. Our granddaughter's first birthday party is on Sunday, so I have to I'm getting a bunch of stuff printed. So I'm gonna add, it's gonna be all these cute pictures of a baby, then this mugshot. Those people are gonna be like, whoo, what the hell's happening here? So yes, it will be back there. And you're welcome, Kara. Thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out with me and talking about this case. I am very appreciative of all of you guys. Thank you for all the kind words, guys. I definitely appreciate it. If you haven't, I definitely invite you to subscribe, whether you're new to this channel or you're new to this case, or very familiar with this case. I invite you to subscribe because I'm constantly updating the information. There's a couple dozen videos now of all different aspects of the case, and I've got a lot going on in the works. I did plan this by today. My plan was to upload the video about to record and upload the video about Melanie. However, our regular scheduled programming was preempted by the arrest of this broad you see on the screen. So we will get to Melanie. Trust me, we'll break down everything she's done and got going on. And then, of course, we have Chad's writings that I've been going through, which is interesting. And I've got another long list of stuff coming up. So I definitely invite you guys to subscribe. Thank you to everybody for hanging out in chat. You guys are awesome. So with all that being said, you guys have a great night, and we will talk very soon. Bye, guys.